The Celtic coinage is loved and enjoyed by many collectors all over the world. There are very few surviving pieces of evidence from this period, with many being produced by Romans in surviving literatures. The Celtic coins are some of the most simple, yet intrinsically beautiful to look at, with there being something so addictive about the Celtic horse design that keeps me wanting to ID more. This bundle of 10 coins was sent to me this week to list on the website, and unlike the medieval coinage, are not a coinage that I'm 100% confident with. So they usually take me a little longer to ID, with the help of Chris Rudd's ABC reference book. Celtic coins were influenced by trade with and the supply of mercenaries to the Greeks. The initial phase of the coinage shows Greek influence, and after this phase, the execution of coins started to become more symbolic. So without further ado, let's get into today's bundle. The first coin is a Trinovantes Adidomarus beaded trophy gold quarter stater minted between the years 60 and 50 BC. The Trinovantes, or the Trinobantes, were one of the Celtic tribes of pre-Roman Britain. Their territory was on the north side of the Thames estuary in current Essex and Suffolk, and included lands now located in Greater London. They were bordered to the north of the Iceni and to the west by the Cativoluni. During the first of his expeditions to Britain, Julius Caesar regards the Triovantes as perhaps the strongest tribe in the region. Despite his strength, the Triovantes may be one of the only 2 tribes to obey Caesar's command to send him tribute and hostages after his departure. And unfortunately for us, no written records exist to detail any but the last of the tribe's rulers, whose names were recorded by the Romans. So let's have a look at the coin itself. The coin is worth quarter of a full stater. The obverse is plain with raised nipple. The reverse displays a stylized Roman trophy with a beaded S shape each side of the base. The Roman trophy design ties in with their support for the Roman victory under Caesar's command. A small coin displaying a huge level of contemporary history of the time. It's just a shame it's so expensive at around £900. Secondly, we have a huge surprise when it came through, as I couldn't believe how big it was. This is an Amorica Coriolis Ogmios and a Vibor silver stater. Try saying that 3 times over. I was used to handling silver units that were 10 times lighter than this, and I didn't know that they produced silver staters before receiving this one. Armorica was the name given to part of ancient Gaul, extending inland to the Indeterminate Point and down the Atlantic coast. Trade between the Armorica and Britain was long established, because even after the campaign of Publius Caracus in 56 BC, continued resistance to Roman rule in Armorica was still being supported by Celtic aristocrats in Britain, and in response to Julius Caesar led 2 invasions of Britain in 55 and 54 BC. Our coin displays head facing right with thick cords for hair. The reverse displays horse with bird head right, V-bore below. The trade between Gaul and Britain probably saw these staters circling in Britain over 2,000 years ago. It's just a shame we didn't mint more of these silver coins of this size, because these large 6-gram silver staters are worth in the region of only £300 to £400 and would be a fantastic series to collect. Thirdly, we have a wonderful North Thames SS type gold stater. I know I mentioned that I have a lot of coins on my wish list, but owning a full gold stater displaying a Celtic horse design like this one is definitely up there. Robert van Arstel says, traditionally, the Triovantes and the Cativoluni were considered distinct tribes, each with its own coinage. In general, the picture today is of a powerful united tribe, occupying the area north of the Thames. The coinage is a unified one since the 2 tribal groups must have merged into a single economic unit before they started producing coins. They had come to act as one economically, and perhaps had been doing so as early as 125 BC. Bob's peaceful picture of one tribe, one economy, one coinage looks somewhat unreal in our eyes. Whilst we perceive evidence of political unity by about 10 AD, we see nothing but tribal discord, economic division and diversity of coinage before then. This is a somewhat arbitrary ordering, made mainly for the reasons of chronology and catalogue convenience. After the mid-1st century BC, there would certainly seem to be at least 3 different tribes, with perhaps 4 or 5, issuing coins in Essex and Hertfordshire. We aren't thrilled with the North Thames as a regional label, as the river runs through it, but it does have an advantage of being a familiar area and therefore likely to stick. The blanks were cast and the final coin was hammered, but instead of being thin and flat like the later Saxon and medieval coins, were thick, and the obverse was a convex shape. Although only 6 grams in weight, there is something seriously premium about these, and if Alan keeps sending me one, I definitely may have to buy one, perhaps next year. The obverse displays a reversed S in the field that is not very easy to see, and the reverse displays an annulet horse facing right, beaded mane with wing motif above and wheel below, and this example was listed on the website for £2,400. Next, we have another quarter stater, minted under the Atrebates tribe, and this is a Selsley Dahlia type. The Atrebates were a tribe of British Celts living in an area of modern Sussex, Berkshire and Hampshire. During the 1st and 2nd century BC, they were among the most powerful of the British tribes, maintaining strong links with the related tribes in Gaul. When Julius Caesar planned his invasion of Britain in 55 BC, he used Commius, an Atrebic chief from Gaul, as a go-to between with his British counterparts. Commius then switched sides, supporting Vercingetorix in his revolt against Rome, but when that rebellion failed, he fled to Britain, where he became king of the Atrebates based in Cavilla, or modern Silchester. Verissa, a descendant of Commius, eventually battled and lost the northern half of his kingdom, including the capital of Silchester, to the Triovantes tribe. Our coin is a very popular quarter stater, with the obverse displaying a reef design with a hidden face, and the reverse design displaying a triple-tailed horse facing right, beaded mane with the floral sun above and wheel below. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always thought the obverse was the concave side displaying the triple-tail horse, as the convex side is usually blank. But it wasn't until I bought an ABC reference book and was given the coin store ID that I realised that I was wrong. Gold coins like this, especially Celtic coins, are incredibly hard to photograph and video due to their shape. Our next coin is the oldest coin I have ever had the pleasure of handling. Like the Continental Silver Stater, I couldn't believe how big this coin was, and what really stuck out was the Celtic-styled horse on the reverse. This coin is a Samovar A-type tetradrachm, weighing a massive 11 grams, minted between 400 and 350 BC. The Norican region of Europe north of what is now Italy, roughly comprising modern central Austria and parts of Bavaria, was originally a kingdom controlled by a Celtic confederacy that dominated an earlier Illyrian population. It reached its greatest extent during the early period and upon reflection minted some incredible looking coins. Our coin displays a male head wearing 3-strand pearl diadem to left, and the reverse displays a horse prancing to the left, and I find it fascinating that 2,500 years ago we were producing designs as intricate as these, where life was unimaginably different. And as Elon Musk once said, technology doesn't just evolve, it takes new generations to carry the baton to study and improve, and if not, history has a funny way of forgetting and starting all over again. We then have our second coin from the Triovantes, minted in the late 1st century BC. It is a Clacton Cross quarter stater, weighing just 1.46 grams of gold, and the reverse displays the remnants of 3 men standing in a ship, and the reverse displays a cross of double lines with pellet and angles, and strangely enough, I haven't received a Celtic gold stater without some variation of the Celtic horse design on the reverse, and within this bundle I was sent 2. You'll have to let me know down below whether or not you prefer the traditional horse design like I do, or whether or not these abstract designs are your favourite instead. There is a lot of history of the little known information on Celtic coinage in the ABC book by Chris Rudd, and for £70 is a must-have. Next we have a very common Celtic silver unit that I get each week, and thus is quite an affordable issue that would set you back around £130. This is an Iceni Norfolk Boar Star silver unit. The obverse displays a stylized boar right, with rings above and pellets below. The reverse displays the commonly seen horse prancing right, with a ladder mane, pellet triad above and star below. This coin also has a great provenance, being an ex-Chris Rudd coin, the man who literally wrote the reference book on Celtic coinage. The Iceni in ancient Britain were a tribe that occupied territory of present-day Norfolk and Suffolk, and under the Queen Boudica, who revolted against the Roman rule. The Iceni made a treaty with the Romans at the time of Claudius's invasion of Britain in 43 AD, but they rebelled in the year 47 when the Romans attempted to disarm them. After quelling the revolt, The Romans controlled the Iceni through a complacent client king, Prasuticus, until his death in 60 AD. When the Romans attempted to annex his realm, his queen, Boudica, led a revolt of all East Anglia. The Britons initially successful, but ultimately the Romans suppressed the rebellion harshly and reduced the Iceni to a small tribal community, or civitas, with its capital at Venta Icenorum, which is the present-day Caistor St. Edmunds near Norwich. To complement the array of affordable Celtic coins, our next coin is a very common gold Celtic stater that would be one of the cheaper types. This is a Shoop-type stater minted under the Belgae tribe. The Belgae were a large confederation of tribes living in northern Gaul, between the English Channel, the west bank of Rhine, and the northern bank of the River Seine, from at least the 3rd century BC. They were discussed in depth by Julius Caesar in his accounts of his wars in Gaul. The Belgae gave their name to the Roman province of Gallia Belgica, and now, much later, the more modern country of Belgium. So let's look at the coin itself. It is by far the largest in size compared to all of the gold staters in the video, weighing just over 6 grams. The obverse displays a reef pattern with downward facing leaves, and the obverse showing a triple-tailed disjointed horse left, blobs and shrimp above, bird-like coffee bean behind, wavy armed crab below, and zigzag decoration. These can be purchased anywhere from 600 in lower grade to around £1,000 in higher grades, so definitely a coin that isn't out the reach for most. Our second to last coin is one produced under the Canti tribe, and the first coin from their region to feature in today's video. This is a Dubnovellinus gold stater with an irregular flan weighing 5.25 grams, a little under the standard 6 grams of the issue. The obverse displays 2 crescents on a wreath, with the reverse displaying a horse left with leaf below and a pellet in ring and Dubnovellinus above. Like many of their neighbours in the southeast, the Canti were Belgic people from the North Sea or the Baltics, part of the 3rd wave of Celtic settlers in Britain. They formed a recognisable territory which may not have been a single unified kingdom until the start of the 1st century AD, but which instead appears to have been several smaller kingdoms which operated as a confederation in times of trouble. The 4 individuals who flourished around 55 BC may have been rulers of each of the Canti kingdoms, perhaps operating together under the authority, perhaps operating together. Certainly Julius Caesar recorded the Canti as having 4 leaders who were kings in their own right, and the Canti at this time were strongly influenced by their Belgic neighbours, the Atrebates, who were more recent arrivals in their country. Their customs were also much the same as the Celts of Gaul, and they were willing to dye their skins with blue wood, which made them look even more terrifying in battle. Lastly, we have probably a coin that displays my favourite obverse design of the video. This is a Cunobelin Bega type quarter stater minted within the Catavaluni region. The Catavaluni, or war chiefs in Gaulish, were a Celtic tribe or state of southern eastern Britain before the Roman conquest, attested by the inscriptions into the 4th century. The fortunes of the Catavaluni and their kings before the conquest can be traced through ancient coins and scattered references in classical histories. They were mentioned by Cassius Dio, who implies that they led the resistance against the conquest in 43 AD. The obverse of our coin displays Camvel in tablet on vertical wreath, and the reverse displays Bega, or 2 horses, branch above, wheel and CVN below. So there we have it, 10 Celtic gold and silver coins from 10 different Celtic tribes. Be sure to let me know down below what coins were your favourite and what examples you have in your own collections. Thank you all for your continued support, and as always, keep collecting.